Hello, I'm back. I wanted to clear something up because I misspoke when I was talking about the Apocrypha books, and I went and picked up one at Barnes and Noble. It was actually the only copy that I found, so I snatched it up. But going back, I believe I said it was the Council of Nicene, and that was an inaccurate statement, so I wanted to clear that up. Actually, since the inception of the Bible, there were 80 books included in the King James Bible. There were the 39 books of the Old Testament, the 14 books of the Apocrypha, and then the 27 books of the New Testament. And they're also in the Latin Vulgate and in the Greek Septuagint. Apocrypha means hidden books. They're not in the Tanakh, the Hebrew Bible, but they're a collection of apocryphal ancient books written between 400 BC and AD 1. These are a collection of ancient books written in Alexandria, Egypt. The Apocrypha was kept part of virtually every Bible printed from the early days, so for over 2,000 years, until about 120 years ago. So relatively recently, in the mid-1880s, when they were removed from the King James Bible. And at that time when they were removed, the Roman Catholic Church kept those books in the Bible. So it's not a Roman Catholic thing like so many of us may have thought before in the past. That's not the case. The Council of Trent in 1546 made an official declaration that the apocryphal books be regarded as scripture. But then during the Reformation, Martin Luther in 1534 said that he felt that they were not divinely inspired. And then there were those that following Augustine, they ruled that most of the books of the Apocrypha be canonical except for 1st and 2nd Esdras, the letter of Jeremiah, the prayer of Manasseh, and 3 and 4 Maccabees. So there is no real justification. And I want to say something about something that's divinely inspired. In a group of people come together, not everyone may have spiritual ears to hear or spiritual eyes to see. And then you're also factor in at that particular time when the church wanted control over people, especially before the printing press, before the Gutenberg, developed the printing press, and people had to go to the church to be read to from the Holy Scriptures. There was a certain amount of the wanting to keep things under control, neat, tidy, and not get out of hand. But no, we're not caged birds. We are. God gives everyone the ability to discern or to receive what He would have, and God gives the increase. Bottom line, So we're on safe ground if we know that God gives the increase, and if He's wanting to reveal truth to us, to our soul, He will open our understanding about a certain thing. So, but you could see where, back at the inception of the church age, there was a certain level of wanting to have control, So, but I just wanted to share a little bit about that. There was no real justification for why they removed the books, because these are ancient Jewish writings from before the time of Christ, which remained untouched. So they are considered, regarded, and this is a consensus, I guess, amongst all the people that came together in these councils to discuss this, that they were regarded worthy of study. So certainly, if they're not considered divinely inspired, but they're considered useful for instruction, then it's a good thing to read them, because I personally feel, from what I've stated before, there were just areas in Scripture, in the King James Bible that I have anyway, which does not have the Apocrypha in it, that there were areas where it just sort of dropped off, and there was like more to the story that merited understanding, but you just didn't have the information available. You have to really kind of dig for it. There are also other books too, the books of the pseudepigrapha, which means false attribution. So there were books that were considered almost heretical. I mean, Epistle of Barnabas, 3 and 4 Maccabees, the Assumption of Moses, the Book of Enoch. So, and why would these be considered pseudepigrapha? You know, a lot of this had, like the Book of Enoch, God had taken him, but he had showed him a lot. There was a lot of revelation in what Enoch was shown. And you know, when God reveals things to someone, it's for a reason. He's wanting that person to share it with the rest of us, so that we all know, we come to the knowledge of truth. You know, it's part of us knowing the events that will unfold in the end times. And a lot of what Enoch was given were glimpses and pictures of what happens and where the soul goes after, you know, if it's not a non-repentant soul and things like that. So it's important to know these things. I mean, you can listen with a ready mind and search the scriptures to see whether these things are so. But once again, I think we're on solid ground when we know that God is the one who ultimately gives us the increase. You know, because Christ speaks to us in parabolic language. God's whole word is something that has deeper and higher understandings, and only He can give the increase. Okay, but the Apocrypha, and even Jesus said, you know, it was written of Jesus that His works were so many that even the world could not contain all the books that would be written. So there are a lot of books, okay? But the Apocrypha are a set of texts included in the Septuagint, which is the Hebrew Bible in Greek. And but it's considered of doubtful authenticity or not divinely inspired. So, but everyone, I think, can determine for themselves. I think they're worthy of studying for any way you look at it, I feel. But there's also lost books of the Bible. And Daniel chapter 13 and 14 are not in the Bible for some strange reason, which I know. My curiosity wants to know the reason behind that. So when I get around to it, I'm going to probably look into that, do a little studying, and then I'll put it on I'll give you my take when I come to that information. But and the Jewish reject the book of Enoch because it's inconsistent with their teachings of the Torah. So, you know, there's a lot of reasons why books were not considered canonical, or, you know. But among the Dead Sea Scrolls were a number of manuscripts of the book of Enoch in the original Aramaic language. But there's also the forgotten books of Eden. There's the conflict of Adam and Eve. There's the secrets of Enoch, the Psalms of Solomon, the Odes of Solomon, the letter of Aristeas, the fourth book of Maccabees, the story of Ahikar, and the testaments of the 12 patriarchs. Now, the 12 patriarchs, the 12 tribes of Israel, the 12, you know, our patriarchs, Reuben on all the way down to Benjamin. So I think that in itself is a very interesting thing to be able to read, and hopefully I'll be able to read it and upload it on my channel. But I think that in any way you look at it, we're all here because we're seeking truth and wanting to grow in grace, faith, and in the knowledge of truth. And so I, for one, you know, will read the Apocrypha and upload it on my channel. But there's other things too, like you know, the Gospel of Mary. Okay, now the interesting thing about the interesting thing about the Gospel of Mary, an early Christian text deemed unorthodox by the men who shaped the Catholic Church. Okay, so they excluded it from the canon. Now, Mary was one of the witnesses of the crucifixion and burial of Jesus, and was the first person to see him after the resurrection. Now, go figure. Why would they want to keep that out of the Bible? Because she's a woman. Let's face it. Okay. That is, and I guess maybe they felt that that should not be included because women were not to be given a position of, any say-so, even though sorry, I dropped my paper here. So, go figure. But, I, for one, feel that that is worthy of reading and listening to, just to study. And it said that it can be found in the Berlin Gnostic Codex, the Papyrus Berlinianus 8502. It was discovered in the late 19th century near Upper Egypt, a place called Akhmim. And it was purchased in Cairo in 1896 by a German scholar, Dr. Karl Reinhardt. And but yeah, so the Gospel of Mary, it did exist, and it's an early Christian text, and so I found that was pretty interesting, and so for anybody who doesn't know, while I'm at it, the Torah is the five books of Moses makes up the Torah, also known as the Pentateuch, and but yeah, and the Talmud, because I know that was confusing to me. I thought, well, what is the Talmud? Because I know that the Jews have their five books of Moses, but it is a record of rabbinical debates from the 2nd to the 5th century on the teachings of the Torah. So, there have always been debates of this or that, when it comes to theology. But anyway, I wanted to share that and wanted to clear that up. So it was not the Council of Nicene. That was like way, 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 way before. But it was the Council of Trent is what I was thinking of in 1546 that made an official declaration that the Apocrypha be regarded as scripture. Okay, so yeah, but it's interesting to know that it was included, for over 2,000 years in the King James Bible, but they took it out about 120 years ago for no real justifiable reason. Maybe there are things in there, like the Book of Enoch. For one thing, the Book of Revelation, okay, St. John the Divine, he was given that whole big overall view of the things that happen at the end times, right? And the book of Daniel also, Daniel was given visions and dreams of the things that would take place in the time of the end. With the book of Enoch, God gives a lot of information. There's a lot of information in there that answers my questions personally about, Genesis, between Genesis chapter 6 and 7, where, the angels of God going unto the daughters of men. Okay, let's see. The sons of God. I'm sorry. The sons of God saw the daughters of men and went in unto them, and then things got so bad, and they bear children, and things got so bad. I wanted to know what took place that was so bad that God would want to destroy all of mankind. So and the book of Enoch explains that. So for the purpose of edification, I think it's important to put it out there. So I will be reading those books and uploading it on my channel. I just wanted to let you know. I hope everybody has a blessed day. Peace out. Goodbye.